Welcome everyone joining us for this afternoon's TPC webinar, quick wins that will make you and or save you money with the guys from After Digital. Sorry, we're a bit late to come on air. A few technical issues we're just trying to get solved behind the scenes, swapping a few things around. Just a note, we've got a double header today coming up this afternoon, live from Montreal. Frederick and Kevin, some fascinating data to share on travel patterns with entertainment. What does that look like post-COVID? Tomorrow, Cara from Audience View and myself finally get to do a webinar about let's be even more like airlines and no benefits, no problem, with Karen and Tom on Wednesday, looking at benefits you can't give to people right now and how we deal that from a service point of view. But we'll be underway in about a minute's time with the guys from After Digital. Okay, it's just after 2 o'clock, so I think we'll make a start on this afternoon's session. Quick wins that will make and or save you money with the folks from After Digital. If you haven't been on this one of these before, it's about 45 to 60 minutes. We'll make the session available on demand later on today, so you can catch up with it because we are recording it. Presentation from the folks at AD. They've each got a section to kind of cover, and then we'll be launching into Q&A. You'll find the Q&A at the top or bottom of your screen. If you hit that, you can ask a question, and you can also upvote and comment on other people's questions as well. So if you see a question you like, give it a thumbs up. So without further ado, I will hand over to the guys from After Digital.
Thanks, Andrew. So we've got 3 topics to cover today and 3 presenters with expertise in each area. My name's Lynn and I am Digital Marketing Manager at After Digital. I'm responsible for digital marketing strategy, implementation and quality of the team's output on campaigns. Today I'll be talking you through some quick wins which will help you make more money and save money on your paid search campaigns. We also have Callie on today's webinar. Callie is one of our brand executives responsible for social media campaigns for our clients. She will discuss how to make the most out of your organic social activity. And lastly, we have George, who is a CX strategist and UX designer at After Digital, and will be talking you through UX quick wins, which will help your business generate more revenue online. So now you've met the presenters, I will quickly introduce After Digital. So we're a full-service agency, which means that we provide end-to-end service from strategy to design and development, and even digital marketing. We have over 20 years experience working with arts, culture, and attractions organisations, and are considered one of the leading agencies in that space globally. If you want to find out more about us or the work that we've done, feel free to visit our website, which is www.afterdigital.co.uk. So the first topic up for discussion is paid search. PPC offers fast entry to market, is measurable, and provides a host of useful data which can be used to better understand your audience. Search engines also reward advertisers who can create relevant, intelligently targeted paid search campaigns by charging them less for ad clicks. So ensuring that your campaigns are properly optimized will end up saving you money in the long run, as well as reaching more of the right people. Number 1, don't always do what Google says. So when you set up Google AdWords, always consider starting slow and with a manual cost per click bid strategy before introducing Google's automated bid strategies. According to Google support, automated bidding takes the heavy lifting and guesswork out of setting bids to meet your performance goals. And each of the automated bid strategies is designed to help your business achieve a specific goal. So I'm sure we can agree that that sounds pretty good. Anything that saves you time and takes some of the hard work out of achieving those great results should be a good thing. So why would you be hesitant to enable this straight away? Well, what they say about automated bid strategies is technically true. The bid strategies work best when the account has data attached. So by using an automated bid strategy from the start, you could potentially pay way over the odds when it comes to average cost per click, whilst the bid strategy gathers enough data. So if you have a brand new AdWords account, or you've maybe not used the account for a few years and the data you have is a year or more old, even 6 months or more old, it's probably not in your best interest to start with an automated bid strategy. You're better going manual to begin with. And once the account has enough data, start implementing automated bid strategies. Tip number 2. Keyword match types and search query reports. When using broad match modified, or phrase match keywords, ensure that you check the search query report data every day at the start of a campaign. The search query report allows you to see how your ads perform when triggered by actual searches. So if you review the report and you find a new keyword used in an actual search, you can then add that to your campaign, or you can add a negative keyword which is irrelevant to your business to further optimize the campaign. So for anyone listening who has limited knowledge of PPC, negative keywords are a word or a phrase which doesn't perform in terms of generating conversions but costs you clicks. Adding negative keywords each day will save wasted ad spend, which eventually adds up and then allows you to invest more of your budget in relevant terms, which have performed well from the start of your activity. Tip number 3, location targeting. There's a default setting in Google Ads called Target People In, or people who have shown an interest in my location. Whilst this can work well when targeting specific areas within a country, it is also worth considering that if this setting is enabled, you will be targeting a larger area. So for example, if you were targeting the UK, then these ads would also be eligible to show in non-UK countries if this setting was enabled. So if you are considering using this function, think very, very carefully about the impact this may have on your budget and the likelihood of someone in another region booking a ticket. If the answer is they will not book a ticket, you're best to switch that function. Tip number 4, mobile app exclusions. So when running display activity through Google Ads, your ads are automatically set to appear on mobile apps unless you exclude them. Research does suggest that ad clicks on mobile apps are often accidental, but these accidental clicks are still charged as normal clicks and can result in a lot of wasted spend. As soon as a display campaign is set up, we recommend you enter the Placement Exclusions tab and select all mobile app categories within the list to ensure that you're not wasting budget on these from the start of the campaign. I'll now pass you over to Callie, who's going to discuss how to make the most out of your organic social media.
Thanks, Lynn. Hi there, my name is Callie, and now I'll be taking you through some of my top tips in improving your social media strategy.
Having a presence on social media is key in connecting with people, especially when we're all online more than ever before. And before I dive in, I just want to share with you some recent research done by Kantar, where results showed that 92% of consumers still think businesses should be advertising. And one of the easiest ways to do this is via social media. So let's find out how we can make the most of it. Social media channel is used very differently as they attract different audiences and different demographics. For example, Instagram is an image-driven platform used primarily by millennials, while LinkedIn helps you directly connect with those in your industry. Research your followers and target audience and create a strategy that will attract the attention of the exact people you want to engage with your organisation. Engagement equals rewards. I cannot stress this enough. The algorithms are constantly changing. However, the rule of thumb is that the more you engage with the channel, the more they will reward you by showing your post to more people. So follow, like, share, comment on your posts, and encourage some sort of a conversation. Social media is social for a reason. And I'll quickly share with you some insider insights. On Instagram, they're slowly removing the likes feature. So saves are essentially the new likes. Create content that would encourage users to come back time and time again. So this could be instructive posts or data that they might find useful. Posts with purpose. Each post should have a purpose, and what exactly do you want your user to do? Do you want them to share a post or purchase tickets to a particular show? To make the user journey as easy as possible, ensure each post has a clear call to action, a video or image, an engaging copy that will entice the user to interact with you. Now, I have to mention the Instagram generation phenomenon. This generation look for opportunities to take photos that will enhance their lifestyle and essentially make them look good in front of their peers. So whether that's a feature on a premises or a shout out via Instagram stories, believe it or not, this strategy will help you grow organically. When a social media user sees a follower at a particular venue or event, it will trigger some sort of fear of missing out, and then they'll be encouraged to book tickets and visit. This is essentially word of mouth marketing, which is one of the best forms of marketing. Here I have included some images of the Magnum Museum down in London. I visited this museum last summer, and once I posted images online, my friends were always asking me where that was so that they could then go down and visit. Every single part of this attraction was photograph worthy, and so we've seen the brand use many social media influencers to come along and visit, where they can attract new audiences. Sharing your brand on social media, it's important to keep your comms and messaging consistent across all channels. That includes your website and your email communications. Translating your tone of voice, colour, images and logo is the best way to portray your brand on social media, and it'll help you be more recognisable to your consumers and followers. Having a strong brand presence on social media will also help you achieve more brand awareness. Canva is an excellent tool for those who don't have Photoshop experience or a graphic design department. They have an array of templates that you can edit and change up to fit in with your brand. Moving on to hashtags. Although they have no purpose on Facebook, hashtags are extremely powerful and a great way to organically grow on Twitter, Instagram and LinkedIn. Use up the optimal hashtags on each platform. I know that Instagram allows up to 30, and use tools such as Hashtagify to understand what the trends are. Remember to research your audience and understand what they will most likely be hashtagging and engaging with. Now, the stories function across Instagram, Facebook and Snapchat have seen some amazing engagement and success rates for a few years now. It allows the user to post numerous photos or short video clips. However, unless your stories are saved, stories only last for 24 hours before they're deleted. The idea of stories is to capture genuine in-the-moment shots as opposed to the carefully curated content that you see on your feed. As the feature evolved, it has grown in importance for brands to effectively utilise the channel to create a narrative, tell stories and connect with consumers. With the option to edit your story through adding filters, locations, stickers and GIFs, you can make your stories stand out more to your followers. You can also add polls or emoji sliders to make your stories interactive. And remember, vertical images work best here. So customer service is also a really great tool for your engagement, as the more that you engage with your followers, the more the channel will reward you and show your post to followers. So reply or respond through liking positive comments where possible, which will help you achieve a great reputation on social media. Although tempting, do not delete or ignore negative comments. Saying kill them with kindness goes a long way here. Reply respectfully and with a solution and a fair timescale. This will show others that you are responsive, engaged and care about your visitors. Now we get trolls, we all get trolls, and I've had to deal with a few myself and it's not easy. If you do receive spam or a troll comment, this is okay to hide this. It lets the person think that the comment is still there, but it's kept out of the public eye. Now we've found some massive success in scheduling our social media in advance, as marketing and social are extremely reactive. So planning content in advance allows flexibility and agility. On top of this, it saves you time, especially if you have a small team. We've had some brilliant success with Hootsuite for Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and Newsletter for Instagram. We also use MailChimp for our email marketing campaigns. And here I've listed a few well-recommended scheduling tools for you to also check out. And finally, I'll move on to paid social and social media influencers. Investing money in your social media strategy is a smart idea to get more bang for your buck. When you have identified your target audience, you can also set up a consumer persona in the ads section. That way, your ads will be directly shown to those who will most likely engage with you. It's a much more cost-effective way than placing an ad on a billboard or newspaper. So you will also receive measurable results that will help you further improve your strategy going forward. And finally, influencers. They've already accumulated extremely engaged audiences, so we would highly recommend them using if you can. Research relevant influencers, reach out and work with them to increase your brand awareness. You can start small with a mention on your stories and work your way up to maybe some sponsor content on your Instagram feed or a YouTube video. And now I will pass you on to my colleague George, who will discuss with you user experience quick wins.
Hi, my name is George, and today I'm going to talk about how to make the most of your resource when looking at improving your UX. UX stands for user experience, and it is a term we use to refer to a person's interactions with a company, service, or product. One of the most important aspects of UX design is user-centered thinking. This means putting user experience at the front and center of everything you do. To help you understand why user-centered thinking is so important, we're going to take a close look at the relationship between the brand and the consumer. Over the course of a person's interaction with your organization, there will be several separate instances of communication and engagement. In this example, let's take a look at a cinema visit, going from browsing movie times on a laptop, purchasing tickets on a phone, potentially calling the theatre with a question, downloading tickets, and scanning tickets for entry. This series of interactions, or rather touch points, form the customer journey. For organizations, these touchpoints will likely feel quite disparate, with different departments and individuals often being responsible for different touchpoints. For example, those who manage the website versus those who sell ticketing at the venue. However, customers don't differentiate between all these different touchpoints. To them, they're all different expressions of the same brand, and they all play a vital part in whether a person has a positive or negative view of a brand. This is why, when we speak of brand, we need to be aware that it's not something that you can wholly define for yourselves. Instead, a brand is defined by how its customers perceive it. It's a subjective perception of value based on the sum of a person's experiences with a product, service, or company that ultimately influences that person's sentiment and decisions in the marketplace. This phrase, sum of a person's experiences, is crucial here, as it points to the importance of viewing things in context. Zooming out, you could argue that a venue's amazing website doesn't make up for the fact that the venue's bathroom queues are always too long. And zooming in, you could say that a seat map is only as good as the other web pages, which make up the rest of the ticket purchase journey. As you can probably tell, improving user experience and ultimately brand perception could be a major task. So rather than focusing on the big picture today, I want to talk about how you can achieve more with less, how to strategically improve your user journeys to elicit moments of delight, rather than just achieve an absence of frustration. When speaking about delight in relation to a website, you might think of witty copywriting, slick animations, or beautiful photography. And while these can certainly contribute to a good user experience, none of these really matter whilst your actual website isn't meeting the basic requirements of your users. Aaron Walter, in his book Designing for Emotion, describes a hierarchy of needs that closely mirrors Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs. Walter claims that only once a foundation of functionality, reliability, usability, and pleasurability have been achieved, true delight can occur. So what might this mean for an actual website? Let's say you're selling tickets online. For your website to meet the functional criteria, that means a person can go to the website and successfully buy a ticket. Everything works the way it's supposed to. It's not pretty, and it might take you a long time to navigate all the steps. It's clunky and intuitive, but it does work. If your website meets the reliability criteria, that means all the necessary security protocols are in place so that payments are protected, and your website won't shut down if 1,000 people try to buy a ticket at the same time. It's secure and dependable. For usability, not only is your website functional and stable, but it's easy to use. People find all the information they need exactly when they need it. The whole process is smooth. To make your website truly pleasurable, you have to go further. Perhaps that means it auto-recommends the best seat to you based on price and view. Maybe it reminds you that you usually log in with Facebook after you've entered the wrong password several times. Or maybe it means that after you've bought a wheelchair seat, you get a personalised email that informs you about accessible entries and toilets. These are the small touches which make a website or a service a delight to use, providing a frictionless experience which make users feel understood and valued. To achieve this level of deep delight is not easy, and certainly nothing you can achieve with quick fixes. So what should you do in a time when your resources might be limited? What should you concentrate on improving that will ultimately have the biggest impact on the overall user experience? In digital, there is the concept of the MVP, the minimum viable product. What this describes is the version of a new product which allows a team to collect the maximum amount of validated learning about their customers with the least effort. In practice, an MVP is generally a stripped-back initial version of a product, complex enough to give people an idea of how this product can benefit them, but not so complex that it's a huge risk to build to the organisation. However, this concept of the MVP has become somewhat flawed, as users constantly expect more and more from digital products, and organisations have started to understand it more as, what can we get away with? So a new concept has emerged, the MLP, or rather, the minimum lovable product, the simplest version of your product that users will love, rather than just tolerate. By embracing the MLP, you put the focus back on the user and their experience. The MLP aims to not merely solve problems for users, but also to delight them in the process. With regards to this image, this means that rather than improving random pages and bits of content or functionality on your website, you should focus on your users and their key journeys, use insight to define what's most important, and invest your resource into instilling delight in those areas. So here's our hierarchy of UX needs again. Only now, it's showing what you can achieve with limited resources. On the left, you can see the MVP. This would be a functional online presence which answers your users' most basic needs, but not much else. On the right, we have the MLP. It's meeting only some of those basic functional requirements. But it's going further than that, by creating a pleasurable, enriched experience, ultimately allowing for delight, albeit on a smaller scale. Using this concept of the MLP, you can ensure that even though your product or service is perhaps lacking in some ways, it excels in others that are key to your users' delight. This approach, combined with insight around what your customers require at this time, will ensure you deliver delight when resource might be limited. I will now pass you back to Andrew, who will round things up and open the Q&A. Thanks.
Thank you very much indeed. So if you've got any questions on that, on PPC, on UX, or Kai section at the start about social, pop that in the Q&A now. I've got a couple of questions which I saw, which I was scribbling down. I learned some new things in that, which is always good, which was in particular, I'm just going to share this screen back. So yeah, questions, head to the Q&A there, or hit up Arthur Digital on Twitter or @TingingCross. But George, that minimum viable versus minimum lovable product, which I've never heard MLP before, so thank you very much for that. I love that. How do we find out the L? I mean, you know, I want to design a new book tickets for my cinema or anything, or some other project. How do I work out what the L is going to be?
That's a good question. I think it's probably one of the hardest questions. I guess it's one of those things where there's never a single answer, but in terms of approach, I think it's always worth reviewing any feedback you get from your users about things that would be good to have or things they don't like. I think right now, there's obviously a lot of lack of feedback in that there's a lot of venues and places shut. So I think other things to look at is potentially things like Google Trends and I guess across the board really to see what other people are doing. So if you look at things like Google Trends right now, people have accepted they can't go out, but they are looking for alternatives. You know, they still want that experience, albeit on a virtual scale. I think we have seen things like virtual zoo tours, kids activities being posted online. There's still, I guess, the essence of what people are after, which is, you know, activities, engagement, passing time. And I think there's still an L there in that people still can do what they love to do. It's just quite difficult right now. But I think listen is, I guess, the first thing I would say. Listening
to what they love. That's a great phrase. Okay, question coming from Luke. And Luke asks, what is the best, it's probably one for Callie, but what is the best way of creating a call to action on Instagram as you're unable to include clickable links on a post like you can on Twitter and Facebook? So calls to action on Instagram, asks Luke.
Yeah, that is also a good question and something that I learned very quickly when I started my job in social media. So yeah, you can't put links on an Instagram post, but what you can do is get something called link in bio. If you Google link in bio, it looks like your Instagram feed, but it's clickable links. And all you would do is copy and paste your link in bio to your Instagram bio, and in every single post, encourage your user to click in the bio. That's what everybody says on Instagram. Click in the bio to find out more about XYZ. The other thing that Instagram are doing is the longer your post, so the more that you write, the more Instagram will encourage your post to go up to the top and encourage more people to see it. So how I kind of set out my Instagram posts is to give a short introduction as to what I'm talking about. Maybe it's going to be a question, what I'm talking about. Then I'll use emojis to state three quick points about what I'm talking about. And at the end of the post, I will then say, click in the bio for more information. And that will lead to a case study or a blog post or a website. And then the other thing you can do that I found out recently is using hashtags at the very, very end of your post. It doesn't matter if you make it in the comments box. I know some people will write their post and then in the comments put their hashtags, or you can put it in the post as well to encourage. So that's what I would say for calls to action.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, and thanks for that question, Luke. Any other questions for Callie, George, or Lynn? Pop those in the Q&A now. I've got one for Lynn, which is worrying me, because we've been talking on, we had a run through on Friday of this, and I saw the word location, which is, you know, I've been at home for 8 weeks, 10 weeks now, like most of us have. How much are we going to be, do you think we will lose kind of location data and trends for my mobile phone being sat in my house for 12 weeks? It looks like I don't go out to Edinburgh or to London or anywhere else. Are we going to lose data that way?
I mean, there'll certainly be a portion of it lost. I mean, a lot of traffic is coming from your mobile device, which is when you're on the train, going to and from work, things like that. But people are still looking for things to do once all of this blows over. They're very keen to get back out there in some cases. So having that location being the home that they're residing in at the moment, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives you a different view rather than sort of the places that you kind of hang about when you're out and about. It's more where you reside. So it's a different type of data. You just need to kind of get your head around how to best utilize that.
Superb, superb. Okay, any questions for Callie, George, or Lynn? Get those in. No one from Luke. He says, any tips on generating optimal hashtags without them being too broad, i.e. theatre, or too narrow, the name of a particular show or theatre? Would you suggest that more hashtags the better, especially on Instagram?
Yep, so Instagram allows you up to 30 hashtags. I mentioned in the presentation that we use a website called Later to schedule our Instagram posts, and within that website or the app, they can give you loads and loads of hashtags that will relate to you, what your copy is or what you're trying to say. But what you can also do is use a website called Hashtagify, and that will give you all the trending hashtags or relevant hashtags to your topic. And then I would also say things like theatre, they are very generic, so really understand your audience and who you're trying to reach out to, and try and understand what they're going to be hashtagging in their own posts, and maybe what they're going to be researching when they're looking for hashtags.
Superb, superb. Thanks for that one. My last one, Callie, is tell the Magnum Museum. What on earth is that?
So I visited it in London last year, and I recently found out that they're all over the world, and it's a bit of a gimmick from Magnum. And when you walk in, it's very small. There's like a old school ice cream parlour where you get to make your own Magnum, but around this museum there's loads and loads of like little rooms and little, you know, quirky statues of Magnums with fancy wallpaper. And what's been happening, there's also a place in America called the Ice Cream Museum or something that Lynn told me about, and they're doing the exact same thing. And what they're basically doing is encouraging people to visit, buy an ice cream if they want, but also walk around this museum of statues of plastic ice creams. And the whole point is to stand in front of the ice cream, take a picture, use the hashtags, post it on Instagram, and then that will encourage more and more people to come to the attraction, snap a picture, and hashtag Magnum. So it's about brand awareness, and that's the whole point of the Instagram generation. Is brand awareness, it's word of mouth marketing, it's giving people a fear of missing out. Really. So yeah, that's the Magnum Museum.
There's a breakfast in the United States as well. So there's nothing they won't put the word museum before. All right, folks, Callie, George, Lynn, thank you very much for that. Thanks everyone for joining us for this one on a Monday. Don't forget that at 4 o'clock this afternoon we have Fred and Kevin coming up from Stage 22. But just remain me to thank Callie, George, Lynn. Thank you for stepping in on a Monday and taking us through that ways to make and save money.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all again, hopefully very soon.